Hey, Jeff Holden and SMB Capital. Roston Smith here again with a playbook recap. This is going to be on a trade I took on Thursday the 7th on Amazon, and it was a VWAP reject. And I've got some nuggets in here and also some questions of areas I'm looking to improve, kind of brainstorming there in regards to taking profits and those profit stops. So we'll jump into it here. And so real quick, disclaimer, I am not currently, for anyone else watching, I am not currently affiliated with SMB Capital in any way. I'm creating these videos as a sort of video resume to display some of my trading and my playbooks to send to Jeff Holden and Mike Bellafiore and whoever else will watch at SMB Capital with hopes of potentially landing a seat on the desk. That's my goal. So I'm not currently affiliated them with any way despite the name. Just keep that in mind. So this is something really cool. I had tweeted out on Twitter at SMB Capital, at Mike Bellafiore, just uploaded my introduction video. In addition to applying at your firm, I'll be posting playbook recaps regularly as well. And I sent that out there, and the coolest thing ever happened was Bella actually saw it and retweeted it and said, "It is a competitive process to be hired on our desk. This trader takes a creative approach." And then he, CC'd SMB Recruiting in the link to the careers tab. This was the most inspiring, exciting thing to see. The fact that he even read what I tweeted, and even if he didn't watch the video, but like read what I tweeted and retweeted it and said, "Hey man, essentially, this is a great example of someone who's getting out there and making a competitive and in a unique way, trying to get our attention." And that is just so cool to me, really inspiring. So I just want to say thank you, Bella, for tweeting that out. And I wanted to show that here in the video. Let's just jump into it here. So the macro market perspective on the ES here on Thursday on Amazon. So keep in mind we had FOMC minutes the day before on Wednesday, and there was a net bullish response from those minutes, okay? We're coming up into 3,900 supply, and the monthly downtrend overall continues. I've been pointing this out in every video. We have been downtrending for months, right? So technically, you can just draw a downtrend line. That 3,900 is going to line up very close with what we're looking at, right? A lot of people are looking for also those prior reference highs there on the 3,950 as an area of resistance. So we've got 3,900 coming up, 3,950 on the ES. Strong response from the FOMC minutes, and now we're coming into Thursday's session, okay? NQ is in significant. The Qs are in a significant spot, a very well correlated with the ES, and about the same thing, except if you drew that same downtrend line, the Qs are kind of getting over it right here. The same reference resistance as the ES coming up, but something to keep in mind is the Qs are strong as well, and they're trading pretty much correlated with the ES on this way up. On the VIX, we're gapping down this morning, so it's notable. The VIX hit 30 here just a few days prior to the FOMC minutes, and markets were pulling back, and then it got killed, rejected 30, dropped below, and is making fresh lows there on the daily chart. So something to keep in mind is we're seeing a low VIX, we're seeing a strong overnight session from beta for most part, strong on the ES, and so you should see net a bullish response, right? That's what you would anticipate for right now, given the declining VIX. So here's the stock statistics on Amazon. I highlighted what's most significant for me was on the day we are opening red and we're gapping down. This is different because compared to every other beta name, you name it, I'm going to show you a bunch of charts here in a second, but all the other high beta tech stocks were gapping up or were performing strong out of the gate heading and taking this trade, while Amazon was making lower highs throughout the day. And it's the size of its downsides were quick. You're not seeing them getting completely soaked and bought back up. You're seeing quick yanks and quick pullbacks. That's the most important piece of information from this chart for right now. Another important part is the average trading range over 30 days is about 5 points. So I take that into consideration when looking when to take profits when we do get those flushes. I look at the low of day and I look at the average trading range to take those profits because you can see what Amazon can do, okay? In the previous day's range was 3.5 points, 3.47. So bigger picture on the stock, again, markets are gapping up on post FOMC bullishness. The daily downtrend remains intact. Yep, I said that before. 115 is a significant technical level on Amazon that we'll be watching here on the daily. And we're trading right up around that. You'll see here once I get to the chart. I spoke about Amazon's bearish divergence from the ES and other beta names from pre-market continuing into the intraday, cash open. Lower high under high a day. And it makes Amazon's going to make a big snap below VWAP, which is going to signal a huge confirmation of that bearish divergence, right? While other beta make higher highs, Amazon snaps below VWAP and starts to curl and come back up into VWAP, which is where I'm going to take my trade. The ES is similarly forming a lower high under that 38.91 high. So ES opened, ramped up, put in the 38.91 high, pulled back, and now we're seeing it start to curl a little bit to pop, and I'm looking for that lower high to correlate with this VWAP reject on Amazon. Okay, so here's a quick screenshot from that day. If you take a look at all the other names, get my mouse here. Take a look at the top left, you got the ES, right? So the market opened, it ramped up here. You can see the opening volume, set in that high at 38.91, pulled back. Look at Apple, straight up pretty much. AMD, straight up, higher highs. Microsoft, higher highs. Tesla, higher highs. Now look at Amazon, lower highs, right? This is that bearish divergence that caught my eye and that I was looking for heading into this trade. Sure enough, we rejected that. As I mentioned, 115 being a significant level. 115.36 was a prior resistance on the day before, or the days before. And now we're seeing a lower high set, quick roll below VWAP, flush on high volume. It's a little bit difficult to see just because I have the volume overlaid on the chart here, but this was significant red volume. It eclipsed everything that had come before except for that opening candle right there. Yep, and now we're bouncing back up into VWAP. So bearish divergence from Amazon heading into this trade. So my strategy was I was looking. I got an entry on 114.42. I was watching, and I got my entry after I saw the 114.50 stuff on the level 2 on the tape. And I saw the offers stack up. And y'all will go through and review the tape, and you'll see it happens really quickly. We break over that 114.50, which is right about where VWAP was. It immediately stuffs down, and then you see the offers kind of stack up, and we never get back to that 114.50. As soon as I saw that quick stuff, that's when I took my entry, set my stop just over that 114.50, and then I lowered it as we dropped down. Risk is on the VWAP break that correlated with 114.50, and it was a 10-cent risk. So I got in at the 114.42. I'm risking that 10 cents on a break over that 114.50 ask, and I gave it another 2 cents of room for that 10 cent. And the profit target would be half on the making a new low a day, and then half on the average trading range I spoke about before. Excuse me. So here's a chart in trade management. So here's you've got Amazon. I just showed this to show the lower highs pre-market that it was making. Jumping over here into the intraday, you've got the opening move up higher I showed you previously. Set the lower high, flushed, got the bounce, curled up here into VWAP. You can see that there's a flush on increased red volume here as people sold it off. And then when we got the bounce, that made me look a lot for that reject here into VWAP. I saw the 114.50 stuff. I got short here on this candle at the 114.42. We pulled back. 114 is a significant whole dollar level that everyone was watching. We've got a flush of that. It quickly soaked it, quickly reclaimed. The bids quickly ramped up on the level 2. I was up 51 cents on the bottom of this flush. That 114 soaked quickly. I set my stop break even. Once I got some room under that, we rolled red and we got under that 114.20. I set my stop break even on that 114.42. Wanted to give it room for my first profit target of a break of that low of day to take some off. But we soaked that 114 quickly, and you'll see in the level 2, we ramped back up and it stopped me break even. And so this is one of the things I'm going to talk about as far as improvements. But I won't jump ahead. We'll get there. So reading the tape, I'm going to show you that 114.50 slam on the tape, and you saw a quick stack of all the bids after the 114 gives, and it trapped any people looking to short that breakdown under 114, trapped the shorts, and then we ripped it straight back to VWAP. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that up here for you. I'm playing this, and currently we are at 2x speed here. I'm going to slow it down once we get up close to go to 4x speed. Once we get close to that 114.50. So now I've got my eyes on it. I'm stalking it. I'm watching that VWAP that's currently sitting at, that's a blue line at 114.53. I may actually jump us ahead just a little bit here for just time purposes. All right, back it up and let me slow it down here. All right. So now we're coming up here into the 114.50. Keep an eye over here on the ask side. Watch. Now we're going to rip through this 114.50 quick. We're going to break above it. VWAP's on 114.52 right now. Now see, we got the 114.50 stacked, and they immediately jump back. We rip through it, and watch how quick we get right back under that 114.50. Right? Pretty quick. We drop it back down. Okay? Very quick, we drop it back down. And so right here, took my entry on the short on the 114.42, and now I set my stop on that 114.52. Now let's see if we can even get back close to that level, okay? So far, the 114.50 holding strong. You see the ass dropping down a little bit. And at this point, it's just watching and letting the trade play out. Let's see if we see that continued bearish divergence here into a significant intraday resistance level here on Amazon. All right, here's another attempt on that 114.50. You saw that ass that were sitting there for 900. Let's see. Here we go. 114.50 stacked up again. There it goes. Now let's wait here. There you go. Then the guy moved down. Now he's on the 114.47. Okay. You saw that size move down. There's a 114.47 again, and now the bids are starting to drop back, and now the ask is moving down. And there we go. Then we start to get the flush. I'm going to speed up the tape now. Here I'm at 4x speed, and we'll just see how it goes. So didn't even get close to my stop out there because I placed it just on VWAP over that 114.50 ask. And now we're selling off. So at this point, I feel comfortable setting my stop break even and just letting the trade play out and giving it room to test those lows. So that 114, that's what I want to jump back to. Let me see. Let me jump back to this right here, this break of this 114, the second test. This is what's really important. All right, so right here I'm going to 1x. Watch, we snapped the 114 significantly, okay? Now watch, check out the bids. They soaked the 114 for the first time here, rolled back over, and watch how quickly we get back over that 114 after that second flush there. Very quick, they supported the 115 on the bid. No significant size keeping us under that 114. That should have been when we really rolled over and headed towards sub 113.80 and then start to take out the low of days. But we soaked that very quickly on the bid. So at this point, this is an option to say I reevaluated the trade. We're not saying we broke that 114 first, popped back up, retested it, made a lower low, and got no follow through. This is an opportunity to go ahead and take profits and size back or and go ahead and walk it because the trade has changed a bit. We're not seeing that consistent weakness on the way down. That is an option. For me, I set my stop break even and I just let it ride. Wanted to give it some time. If this was the time for us to really roll, especially with the ESB under 3,900, I wanted to give it some room. And I'm just going to speed up here. That was the most important part of the tape right there, was that soak on that secondary soak on that 114. I'm going to speed it back up. And so what ends up happening is we just came right back up and it stopped me out and then it ended up going higher. I'll jump it forward here. Caught my stop there on the break even and then it remounted and we went higher. Okay, so that was the tape there for that trade. So stock selection. It was the weakest of the beta names for the short. It was a solid play, I think, on the VWAP. The issue was it in a stronger market, I could see it would have made more sense to look for the long side on the strongest names and the weak short on the weakest names. But this is what I ended up going for this day. Choosing the stock is really important. I got a nice entry on VWAP at the 114.42, and I like the risk. Management exited. I don't like the fact that I risked 10 cents. I was up 50 cents on the lows of that secondary 114 flush, but then it came back and stopped me break even. You can look at that as well, it's a free trade, but at the same time, if you're up, 5 times your risk, I can see the advantage of going ahead and taking that 50 cents and keeping it moving. I'm considering implementing like a 3-hour profit rule where if you're up 3 times your risk, go ahead and take a percentage off. I'm not quite settled on how I'm going to structure that. It would be very advantageous for me to speak with some other traders at SMB and talk about how they kind of manage this kind of scenario and deal with this sort of scenario. When to keep the scalp or to go for that larger term play, especially in this market. That's where I could use the guidance and wisdom and coaching of those of you at SMB Capital to kind of help me grow in this area. But it's really irritating when you have a 10-cent risk and then you're up 50 cents and it comes back and you just take 0. So this is something that I'm working through on my own and in my head. sizing, not enough room for me to add. I would have, if we could hit low a day, I take some profits, and then we break low a day and bounce back up to it, I feel more comfortable adding it back for lower. That's what I would have been looking for the ad. I thought my sizing was pretty fair there. And low days is not break or reject. So, all right. And that is all I got. Thank you so much for watching. Again, here on the screen, I'll have my email address where you can reach me. I've already applied to SMB Capital, so you have all my information there. Thanks so much, everyone, for watching. I hope that this has been an educational experience, and I'll see you guys later.